Hello everyone. Today we will be discussing the chapter motion. Motion simply means movement. So if we want to define motion, we would say that the movement of an object from one position to another position with respect to the observer is called motion. Tell me that the walls of your classroom, are they at rest or are they in motion? Obviously, they are at rest. That means the things which cannot move or are not moving are at rest, and those which are showing movement are in motion. Students, motion of any object can be defined by its position with respect to the observer. Position is the location of the object. If object changes its position with the passage of time, it is said to be in motion. That means if I move from my house to say some shop, I move from my house at 10 and reach a shop at 10:15. That means from 10 to 10:15, my position was changing and I was in motion because my position was changing. So position is something which we will be considering when we talk about motion. Another thing is a reference point is the point from which the location of the object is measured. So if I move from my house to a shop from 10 to 10:15 and I say that the shop is like half a kilometer from my house, then the reference point would be my house. Take another example. Suppose a person changes its position with respect to a tree. We are taking a tree, a reference point here. The person changes its position with reference to this tree with time. So in this example, person is an object, tree becomes the reference point. When an object moves in straight line with respect to the observer, then the motion is called straight line motion. Like motion of a lift, it moves in straight line. The total path length covered by an object between two endpoints is called the distance. Now, distance is a numerical value. While talking about the distance covered, we do not mention the direction in which an object is traveling. While displacement is the shortest possible distance between the initial position and the final position of an object. Understand the difference between displacement and distance with a thread. If you take a thread and keep it straight, distance between the first point and the other point, that means between the two end points, is say 20 centimeter it is. So distance between the two end points is 20 centimeter. But now if you curve it a little bit from middle or sides, then the length of the thread would not change. It will remain 20 centimeter. But if you measure with a scale, the distance between the end points, it would be less than 20 centimeter. This is the shortest possible distance between the initial and final position of the object. The shortest possible distance is the displacement. Another difference between distance and displacement is that distance traveled can never be negative, while displacement can be negative. Now, if you bring the two ends of the thread at one point, then you can say that the displacement would be 0 because the initial and final points are same. Distance depends on the path of the object, but displacement does not. distance is always greater than or equal to the displacement. They are equal only in straight line motion without taking U-turn. Distance is denoted by small d and displacement is denoted by small s. While calculating distance traveled by an object, direction is not considered. That means it does not matter which direction it takes. What's important while calculating distance is how much path or the length of the path the object has covered. Whereas in displacement, while calculating displacement of an object, the direction is always taken into consideration. Now, when we say that distance can only have positive values, whereas displacement can be positive, negative, or even zero, that means the distance covered by an object will always be positive. Say if an object has moved 5 kilometers from the point of origin, then the distance covered by it would be 5 kilometers. But if after covering this 5 kilometer it comes back to the origin point, then also the distance will be 5 kilometer, but displacement would be 0. Distance can be measured along a non-straight path also. Just like we took an example of the thread, even after curving the thread, the length of the thread was 20 centimeter, but the displacement varied. So distance is not measured along distance can be measured along the non-straight path, but displacement can only be measured in a straight path because we measured the end points of the thread using a scale. Another term we need to learn here is the magnitude. Magnitude refers to the size or the extent of a physical quantity or the measure of the physical quantity. Now in physics we have two types of quantities, which are scalar and vector. Scalar quantities only depend upon the measure or the quantity or size or extent of a physical quantity, whereas the vector quantities are expressed in magnitude as well as the direction of the object. Scalar quantities only increase. Time increases. Time is scalar. Distance only increases. It is only positive, never negative or zero. Mass or weight, temperature, area, volume, these are all scalar quantities, whereas the vector quantities depends on the magnitude as well as the direction. For example, the displacement. You can understand the positive, negative of the displacement by imagining a number line. Number line, we have a 0, we have on the left side we have negatives of the number, and on the right side we have the positives. So 0 can be understood as the origin of the object, and when an object moves to the left side, then that means the displacement is negative, and if the object moves from 0 or the origin to the right side, then the displacement is positive. Now students, movement or motion also takes some time, so time is another factor which we have to take in consideration. So time is the duration of an event that is expressed here in seconds. Most physical phenomena occur with respect to time, and time, as we have said earlier also, is a scalar quantity. If a body covers a certain distance in a certain amount of time, its speed is given by the formula distance divided by the time. Speed is the rate of change of distance of a body. An average speed is calculated using the formula total distance traveled divided by the total time taken. Before we move on to velocity, we need to understand two terms which are uniform motion and non-uniform motion. Uniform motion is a motion in which equal distance is covered in equal interval of time. Whereas non-uniform motion is a motion in which unequal distance is covered in equal intervals of time. So say if you are moving in a car and every hour you are covering exactly 15 kilometers, then you are said to be in uniform motion. Another example of uniform motion would be the movement of hands of a clock. They move equal distances in equal interval of time. So that is a uniform motion. Whereas if a car is traveling unequal distances in equal interval of time, it is in non-uniform motion, like an athlete running in a race. An athlete would be covering unequal distances, so it is a non-uniform motion. Therefore, different objects may take different amount of time to cover a given distance. One of the ways of measuring the rate of motion of an object is to find out the distance traveled by the object in unit time. This quantity is referred to as speed. The SI unit of speed is meter per second. Other units of speed also include centimeter per second and kilometers per second. In most of the cases, objects will be in non-uniform motion. Therefore, we describe the rate of motion of such objects in terms of their average speed. The average speed is obtained by dividing the total distance traveled and the total time taken. If we specify the direction of motion of an object along with its speed, then it becomes a vector quantity and is called velocity. Velocity is the speed of an object moving in a definite direction. The velocity of an object can be uniform or variable. It can be changed by changing the object's speed, direction of motion, or both of them. There is no difference between the average speed and velocity if an object is moving along the straight line at a variable speed. But in case the velocity of the object is changing at a uniform rate, then the average velocity is given by the arithmetic mean of initial velocity and final velocity for a given period of time. That means the average velocity is equal to the initial velocity plus final velocity divided by 2. Now we denote the initial velocity by u, small u, and final velocity by v, small v. So if we write this expression, we get u plus v by 2 is the average velocity. And speed and velocity have the same units, which is meter per second. So what is the difference between speed and velocity? Speed is the distance divided by time, whereas velocity is the displacement of the body divided by time taken. Speed is the scalar quantity because distance cannot be negative, and velocity is a vector quantity because velocity is calculated by displacement by time, and displacement depends on the direction of the body. The average speed of a moving body can never be zero, whereas the average velocity of a moving body can be zero, in which case when the displacement is zero. Speed of a moving body can never be negative, whereas the velocity of a moving body can be positive, negative, or zero depending on the point of reference. So simply students, speed is the scalar quantity and it indicates the rate of motion, distance per time, and velocity indicates displacement, time, and direction. Now, the rate of change of velocity is termed as acceleration. Obviously, acceleration is a vector quantity because it depends on the velocity, and velocity is also the vector quantity. So, acceleration can be calculated with the formula change in velocity divided by time. Acceleration can be referred as speeding up, but it really measures the changes in velocity. Acceleration can be experienced every day in a vehicle. When you step on the accelerator and the car speeds up, it increases its velocity. Acceleration can be calculated by subtracting the initial velocity from the final velocity by the time taken. It's just the same thing. Change in velocity or subtracting final and initial velocity by time taken. If the velocity of an object changes and from an initial value u to the final value v in time t, the motion is called acceleration motion. In this case, acceleration is denoted by A, is given by A is equal to v, which is the final velocity, minus u, the initial velocity, divided by t, which is the time taken. Acceleration has the same direction as that of velocity if the velocity increases. But if the velocity decreases, then acceleration obviously will have opposite direction as of velocity. In such a case, acceleration will be negative. Negative acceleration is also called retardation or deceleration. When the velocity of a body changes by equal amounts in equal interval of time, acceleration is said to be uniform. And when the velocity of body changes by unequal amount in equal interval of time, acceleration is said to be non-uniform. Now, I hope you can relate non-uniform and uniform motion to uniform and non-uniform acceleration. So the difference was that uniform motion was motion in which equal distance was covered in equal interval of time, while non-uniform motion was the motion in which unequal distance was covered in equal intervals of time. While uniform acceleration, we talk about the changing of velocity. Uniform acceleration is when velocity of body changes by equal amounts in equal interval of time, and non-uniform acceleration is when velocity of body changes by unequal amount in equal interval of time. Falling off a ball is a uniform motion of acceleration, while motion of a car is a non-uniform acceleration motion. Now, velocity, distance, time, and acceleration can be linked in some equations, and these equations are called the equations of motion. There are three main equations of motions for bodies moving with uniform acceleration. First equation of motion is v is equal to u plus at. V we have learned that is the final velocity, u is the initial velocity, a is acceleration, and t of course is the time. So first equation of motion is v is equal to u plus at. Second equation of motion is s is equal to ut plus half a t square. S is, we have learned, that is the distance traveled by the body in time t. So u is initial velocity, t is the time, a is the acceleration, which makes our second equation of motion s is equal to ut plus half at square. Third equation of motion is v square is equal to u square plus 2as. So these equations of motions can be used when an object moves along a straight line with uniform acceleration. The change in position of an object with time can be represented on a distance time graph, where we take distance on the y-axis and time on x-axis. Distance time graph can be employed under various conditions where the objects move with uniform speed, where they move with non-uniform speed, and also where they remain at rest. When an object travels equal distances in equal interval of time, it moves with a uniform speed. So this type of graph is a straight line, because the distance traveled by the object is directly proportional to the time taken. We can also plot the distance time graph for an accelerated motion. The nature of this graph shows non-linear variation of the distance traveled by the car with time. The variation in velocity with time for an object moving in a straight line can be represented by a velocity time graph, in which on the x-axis we take time and on the y-axis we take velocity. If the object moves at uniform velocity, the height of its velocity time graph will not change with time. It will be straight line parallel to the x-axis. So we know that the product of velocity and time gives displacement of an object moving with uniform velocity. Therefore, the area enclosed by the velocity time graph and the time axis will be equal to the magnitude of the displacement. We can study a uniformly accelerated motion by plotting its velocity time graph. Velocity again on the y-axis and time on the x-axis. For all the uniformly accelerated motion, the velocity time graph is a straight line. You can determine the distance moved by the car from its velocity time graph, as the area under the velocity time graph gives the distance or the magnitude of displacement of the object in a given interval of time. The uniform circular motion is that motion in which an object moves on a circular path at a constant speed, like in a watch, and moon revolving around the earth. These are both the examples of uniform circular motion, while non-uniform circular motion is the motion in which an object moves on circular path with varying speed. That means the speed keeps on changing. When an object is in circular motion, direction of its velocity keeps on changing. Velocity keeps on changing because with every movement, its direction is changing. Now, if a body is moving in a circular path of radius r, then speed v would be distance upon time, or the circumference of the circle upon time. That means 2 pi r, which is the circumference, divided by time gives you the speed of a body moving in a circular direction. So students, we have learned a lot about motion today, and the most important thing was the equations of motions, and let me refresh them. Firstly, first equation was v is equal to u plus at, where we all know that v is the final velocity, u is the initial velocity, a is acceleration, and t is time. Second equation of motion is s is equal to ut plus at square, and s is the distance traveled here. Third equation is 2as is equal to v square minus u square. So thank you very much for listening, and I hope you will be practicing a lot of numericals using these equations, and I will see you in the next video.